If you've ever seen a good morning message as nothing more than a formality, then you might be missing out on one of the most underestimated tools of emotional connection. That simple message has the potential to light a spark that keeps him thinking about you all day. Or on the flip side, it can quietly seal your place in the forgotten corners of his mind. It's like flipping a coin. Land on heads, and you're the first thought in his morning. Land on tails, and you blend into the noise like everyone else. But what if you could rewrite the rules? What if instead of leaving things to chance, every word you send was crafted to touch something deeper, to stir his emotions, trigger his curiosity, and make you the thought that lingers even before he's fully awake? Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychologist, believed that words weren't just random clusters of letters. They're powerful symbols, keys that unlock doors within the unconscious. When you begin to grasp this, your messages take on a new weight. They're no longer just text. They become emotional triggers. The truth is, many women fall into the same pattern. They send dry, polite, predictable messages. The kind that say, "Good morning, hope you slept well. Have a nice day." While they sound kind and thoughtful, their emotional impact is almost always zero. Why? Because they don't stir anything. They don't provoke curiosity or warmth or connection. They pass unnoticed. The real secret isn't just in the words you use. It's in how those words make him feel. Epictetus once said that what affects us isn't what happens, but how we interpret it. Jung would have agreed. It's not the message that holds the power. It's the emotional response it creates. So today, I want to give you 7 good morning messages that are designed not just to greet him, but to reach him. They're built to stir interest, spark attraction, and plant a subtle idea in his mind that continues to grow long after he reads them. If you've ever sent a message with excitement in your heart, only to be met with silence, not even a scene, you know how it feels. But before you start blaming him, stop for a moment. Maybe it wasn't about him. Maybe it was about the message. Generic messages are emotional dead ends. Think about it. If a stranger walked up to you and said, "Hey, how are you?" would that really grab your attention? Probably not. There's nothing there. No spark, no depth, nothing personal, no reason to care or connect. Worse still is when the message subtly communicates neediness. You know the type. "Good morning, handsome. Hope you have an amazing day. I'd love to see you soon. Sorry if I'm bothering you. I just wanted to say hi." It might seem sweet, but what he actually hears is, "I'm already giving you all of my attention, without you needing to earn any of it." And that, rather than pulling him closer, actually pushes him away. Jung spoke about how we unconsciously project our needs onto others. We often don't realize it, but in trying to connect, we can end up repelling. When your energy says, "I'm here waiting for you," it creates no challenge, no intrigue, no emotional tension. It simply gives everything away. Marcus Aurelius once said that a person's value lies in what they bring to others. The same is true of your messages. If they bring no emotional value, they're forgotten in seconds. So, how do you write a message that makes him stop, feel something, and think of you all day? There's a formula. It has to create emotion. Curiosity with a line like, "You won't believe what I dreamt about you last night." Playfulness with something hilarious. "Reminded me of you yesterday. I'm still laughing." Intrigue with something incredible. "Made me think of you this morning. And you'll never guess what it was. You're not alone in this." I'm here to help. I'll share 7 messages with you that truly stir his attention. Messages that break through his routine and quietly make him wait for your next one without even realizing it. Let's begin with the first one, the mystery message. When you reveal too much too soon, you lose your magic. Have you ever sent something expecting a reaction only to get a dry low, or no real response at all? That's because you gave it all away. It's like watching a movie trailer that tells you the ending. You lose interest before it even starts. Jung believed the unconscious is most captivated by what's unclear, what remains slightly hidden. Mystery fuels the imagination, and wherever imagination goes, attraction tends to follow. That's where your real advantage begins. The mystery messages like a slightly open door. He won't be able to resist pushing it. One of the most effective you can use is, "Good morning. You won't believe what I dreamt about you last night. Why does this work so well?" Because it triggers a natural mechanism in the human brain. The mind hates incomplete information. When something is left unfinished or unclear, it keeps searching for an answer. Carr described this as the power of archetypes and symbols. What we don't fully understand becomes fascinating. This message pulls him in without you having to chase him. His mind will start asking questions. What did she dream? Was it romantic, funny, intense? And just like that, you're already on his mind. But here comes the golden rule. Don't respond right away when he asks. Give his imagination space to roam. Leave him in suspense. Later you can reply with something like, "It was too interesting to explain over text." Want to guess what it was? That little dose of mystery creates an emotional experience he won't forget. Because in the end, he may not remember your exact words, but he'll remember how you made him feel. Now, let's move on to the second message, the one that touches the heart. If you don't connect with his emotions, you become just another person in his inbox. Have you ever had conversations with a man that just never seemed to go beyond the surface? Like the words were floating in the air, but never truly touched anything real. Jung once said that repressed emotions don't disappear. They just hide, and later come out in unexpected ways. In relationships, emotions are the invisible flame that keeps the connection alive. A powerful message to ignite that flame is, "Good morning. I hope today brings you lots of success. Tell me, what's your biggest dream right now?" This kind of message cuts through the superficial. You're offering him something genuine, something that invites him to open up, because deep down all of us want to feel understood and valued. And if you're the woman who gives him that space, he won't forget you. Now pay attention when he shares his dream. Don't interrupt or downplay it. Listen, validate it, celebrate it. You might reply with something like, "That sounds amazing. What made you get interested in that?" That simple exchange creates a deeper bond than 1,000 hollow compliments ever could. Because the woman who knows how to touch a man's heart doesn't need to shout to be remembered. Now for the third message, spark his creativity. If you can get him to imagine something with you, you're already one step closer to winning his emotional attention. Have you ever had a conversation that stayed with you for days? That made you smile without even realizing it? Words can create entire worlds. You believed fantasy and imagination were bridges to the unconscious, and that's exactly where true desire is born. A message that activates that inner world might be, "Good morning. If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you be?" His mind will take off immediately, Maybe he'll picture a quiet beach, a city he's always wanted to visit, or a thrilling adventure, and you'll be right there inside the mental image he's painting. That's powerful because the emotion he feels while imagining it becomes linked to you. And once a feeling is tied to a person, that person becomes unforgettable. Here's the final trick. When he answers, don't close the topic, build on it. If he says Paris, don't just say how lovely. Say something like, wow, I can picture you strolling through Manra with a coffee in hand. Do you love French culture? You're expanding his vision, deepening the moment, leaving an emotional imprint. And that, darling, is the difference between being just another chat and being the woman he can't get out of his mind. Let's move on to the fourth message. Awaken his intrigue. Curiosity is one of the most powerful emotional hooks. Once it's activated, it'll keep him thinking about you far more than you'd expect. Has anyone ever said to you, "We need to talk," and your mind instantly flooded with 1,000 thoughts? That's the exact kind of effect you want to create, just with a positive twist. A great message for this is, "Good morning. I just remembered something that made me see you differently." And just like that, he won't be able to stop wondering. What was it? What changed? What did she think? Was it something good? Something intriguing? Carl Jung spoke about the collective unconscious as a space where we all share emotions, symbols, and ideas. And this type of message taps directly into that. It triggers a sense of anticipation, a story left unfinished that he'll want to complete. The key is not giving everything away too soon. Play with suspense. You could follow up with something like, "I'm not going to tell you just yet, but trust me, you'll want to know." That builds anticipation. And in the language of attraction, anticipation is addictive. Have you ever received a message where someone didn't reveal everything, and you just couldn't stop thinking about the missing piece? That urge to know more, that need for closure, that's exactly what keeps desire alive. Attraction works the same way. As Jung would say, what remains hidden becomes symbolic, and symbols capture us. The unseen awakens more desire than the obvious. This brings us to another perfect message for stirring that curiosity. "Good morning. Something incredible happened last night, and it made me think of you. I'll tell you later. You can feel it immediately. Your mind starts spinning. What happened? Why did he think of me? Was it something fun, intense, personal? It's like opening a window into something special, but not showing the full view. That's where the magic lies. This kind of message creates what's known as an open loop in the mind. He won't be able to let it go until he gets closure. It's like hearing a melody that doesn't finish. Your brain aches to complete the tune. Don't make the mistake of telling him everything right away. When he asks, say something like, "I'm not sure I should tell you just yet, but it really made me smile." This keeps the suspense alive and pulls him in emotionally. Jung explained that what remains hidden in the unconscious gains strength over time. Whoever controls the rhythm of the conversation also controls the emotional pull. Now let's go to the fifth message, the one that revives emotion through nostalgia. The past, when touched gently, holds immense emotional power. Have you ever heard a song and instantly felt everything you once felt with someone? Memories have taste, smell, and texture. One small detail is enough to bring it all rushing back. Epictetus once said that it's not what we experience, but how we remember it that shapes us. Jung, on the other hand, spoke about the emotional symbols we carry from the past. If you can get him to relive a beautiful memory with you, whether real or imagined, you become emotionally anchored in something positive. Try a message like, "Good morning. I was thinking about that time we went to the park. It was such a special day. What if we did it again?" This message hits two chords at once. Nostalgia, by reviving a happy moment that automatically brings back that emotion, and anticipation, by suggesting a chance to relive it again. You're subtly inviting him to a future moment together. And if you don't have a shared memory yet, that's perfectly fine. You can create an imagined one that still feels emotionally real. For example, if you once talked about the beach, you could say, "This morning, I pictured myself walking along the beach at sunset with the sound of the waves in a soft breeze, and for some reason, you were there. Would you want to make that real?" This doesn't just create emotional connection, it places you inside his emotional world, even if nothing's happened between you yet. Because in the end, what we feel has more impact than what actually happened. Now, the sixth message, the compliments that hook him. This isn't about calling him handsome. It's about making him feel unique. A real compliment is like a thoughtful gift. It's not generic. It's personal. Think of it this way. There are two kinds of gifts. One that anyone could give, and one that only someone who truly knows you would choose. Which one would you remember exactly? Compliments work the same way. Marcus or Aurelius said that every human being seeks recognition, but very few receive it in a genuine way. If you can offer that kind of recognition, you stand out effortlessly. Here's where a powerful message comes in. "Good morning. You know what I admire most about you? The way you always find something funny and everything. It's contagious." This message works on 3 key levels. It's specific. You're not saying something vague like you're cute, but pointing out a real personal trait. It's sincere. He'll feel that you're genuinely paying attention to who he is. And it plants a thought in his mind. He'll think of you every time he does that thing you admired. And don't forget, avoid generic or exaggerated compliments like you're the most amazing man on the planet. They come off as empty or even desperate. Instead, notice something he does naturally, something that charms you without him even realizing it. Maybe it's his laugh, the way he talks about his passions, or how serious he gets when something really matters to him. When you give an honest compliment, you create an emotional imprint. And the woman who creates an emotional imprint is the one he can't get out of his head. Have you ever noticed the way he moves his hands when he explains something with passion? Or the way his face lights up when he talks about something he really loves? Those small details, the ones most people overlook, are actually windows into his essence. And when you notice them and let him know, it changes everything. People are naturally drawn to those who make them feel seen. If he feels that you truly value something in him that most don't even notice, he'll think of you every time he repeats that gesture. Carl Jung believed we all carry a deep, often unconscious desire to be fully recognized, not just for what we show, but for who we truly are underneath. And when someone sees us like that, they become unforgettable. Now, we arrive at the 7th and final message. And believe me when I say this, one might be the most powerful of all. It's the message that creates expectation and emotional anticipation. Anticipation is one of the strongest ingredients of desire. Have you ever looked forward to something so much you couldn't stop thinking about it? Maybe a date, a special gift, or a reunion. The wait, when filled with emotion, turns something ordinary into something extraordinary. Imagine sitting in your favorite restaurant. You're ready to enjoy your favorite dish, but instead of bringing it right away, the waiter smiles and says, "Today, we've prepared something special just for you, but it's a surprise." That small pause doesn't frustrate you. It excites you. The more you want something, the more meaningful it becomes when it finally arrives. Seneca said that things that come easily are rarely valued. Jung added to that idea, explaining that what remains hidden and unrevealed speaks powerfully to the unconscious mind. That's why, if you can awaken in him the feeling of anticipation, waiting for something from you, a story, a detail, a small surprise, you'll capture his attention far deeper than any direct message ever could. An example, try something simple like, "Good morning, I'm planning a surprise for you. You have no idea how much I want to see your face when you find out." This short phrase activates 3 powerful emotional triggers. First, it sparks immediate curiosity. He'll want to know what the surprise is. Second, it keeps you on his mind throughout the day, feeding thoughts and fantasies about what it could be. And third, it gives you full control of the story. He's now waiting for something only you can deliver whenever you choose to reveal it. And here's a secret that many overlook. You don't actually need a big surprise for this to work. It doesn't have to be expensive or elaborate. Sometimes the smallest, most intentional gestures have the biggest impact. It could be an image that reminds him of a conversation you shared, a song with meaning, a thoughtful message, or even a coffee you know he loves. It's never about the size of the gesture.